Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years experience training dogs and people. If you've got a doggy dilemma, Denise can help.
Welcome to another episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I'm Denise Mazzola. Today we're going to meet two Great Danes, Dwayne and Skyler, and Liz and Keaton. So tell me what's going on with these guys before we bring them out.
Well, the first thing that concerns me the most is I think Dwayne doesn't know how to really interact with kids, and I'm not really that comfortable with bringing him into the situation. The first thing he did was we were with my nephew, who's 6 years old, and the only kids he's been around are more calm kids, and my nephew's, a little crazy. And he went, and Dwayne wasn't doing anything, and Griffin went to fall off the couch. And when he did that, Dwayne kind of just ran over, and he didn't growl or make any noise, but he kind of put his shoulder down to scare him, kind of. Which freaked me out.
So put his shoulder down onto your nephew?
He didn't hit it. He didn't touch him at all, but he was just it's like what he does to Skyler to tell him, I don't like that, be calm.
Okay. He went from a laying position and then just leaped towards him.
Okay. Was that here or was that someplace else?
That was at my cottage.
Okay. So just sort of, Dwayne is how old?
He was about a year old then.
Okay. And how old is he now?
A year and a couple months, so it was
so it wasn't that long ago. Yeah. Okay, so Dwayne was laying someplace else, and the little boy just purposely fell off the couch.
Yeah, he was being crazy, and then we haven't really had him around kids after that. And then his niece was over, and just petting them over there, and he didn't growl or bite or anything, but he put her hand in his mouth. So.
And Dwayne again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't bite down or anything.
Yeah.
He was just kind of.
Is he mouthy anyway to you guys?
Not really. I mean, I don't let him play with his mouth. That much.
Okay. And he's a big boy, so then
that's
everything gets sort of magnified a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dwayne is about a little over a year, and how old is Skyler?
Skyler will be a year in January.
Okay. And okay, so let's bring them on out and meet him. Almost one. Since they're whining.
Easy, guys.
Here they are. Hi, guys. So this is Dwayne.
This is Dwayne. And then just our other concern is Skylar with her eating. She eats crazy, like she's never eaten before.
Okay.
It's really intense, and the biggest thing with them is bloat.
Yes, right.
So,
okay.
I mean, they eat 3 times a day too. Dwayne.
That's right.
He's getting pretty good with
they're not interested in you. They're interested in.
Well, there's chicken and hot dogs in the bag, and it's zipped up. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah. she thinks she can fit under him still.
Well, now hello. Thank you. We were wondering when you were going to come and say hello. Okay. So has Skylar been around children, or was she here during these two episodes?
She has, and she loves everybody. Anything that'll give her attention. The only thing with her would be she's too excited about everything.
Okay.
But
really, my ear's sort of attached to my head. Thank you. This is completely off topic, but what color do you call this?
He's a fawn merle mix.
Wow, very pretty. Not seen that before. Okay, so any training, any formal anything?
He has been to, I don't think it was puppy kindergarten, but it was the first level basic course. She hasn't been to any. But.
Okay. And what behaviors do you feel like are pretty solid with him?
What would you say?
I
mean, he usually listens. Yeah, he listens really well. He's not as much into food as she is.
Okay.
But
so not quite as food motivated.
I mean, if you give him
stuff while walking, but
if you give him treats and everything, he'll be into it. But she's on another level with food.
Well, Skylar, you'll be fun to train.
All
right. So what commands did Dwayne learn in class?
Sit, stay. Well, we did a lot of them ourselves. We needed to get my Nana to go to class, but we practiced sit, stay, lay. What else? Come.
Walking on the leash.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the biggest one was walking on the leash and just having them pay attention to what we're doing.
Okay. Okay. So when he stops sort of engaged in the bag, let me address the food bowl. Do you have any sort of, what have you tried to get her to slow down her eating?
We actually feed her ourselves, which we've done with them since they were puppies anyway, but she was doing better and we could feed her regularly, but we've had to go back, make her sit down, we have the food, and then we tell them to chew, and generally they'll stop eating and chew.
Okay. All right, so there's a couple of different thoughts for slowing down feeding. Feeding her out of a brain toy would be great because you would accomplish two things at the same time. She would have to solve the puzzle and how to get the food out of the toy, as well as she can't, there's no way to eat fast out of a brain toy.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
So are you familiar at all with brain toys?
I am. I was just nervous that she would play too much with it. And you know, if they play when they're eating, it's like the big no-no for them.
Okay.
I just don't know if
I would feed them separately.
Yeah.
So that you're sure that she's eating what she needs to eat.
Yeah.
But a good, like the largest sized Kong, do you have any of those here?
Yeah.
That you could stuff with her food, a little wet food or some peanut butter or anything that would make it stick.
Yeah.
She may bounce it around and chew on it in order to figure out how to get the food out.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't be horsing around or racing around.
Yeah.
The other ones, I'm trying to think if I have any with me, are you could feed them out of a Tug-a-Jug, which is a purple bottle.
Yep, we got one of those.
Okay. And does she interact and try to get stuff out of that? Have you ever tried to put food in it?
That's
Yeah,
one that she plays pretty
she-
hard with.
yeah.
She whips it around.
Yeah. And then the food is sort of it splatters out.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have to go and eat each one little piece. There's no big, huge bowl of stuff. The brain toys will also. She seems like she's kind of an energetic girl. Right? You said she's jumping over the skate.
Yeah.
And so brain toys will help dissipate some of that energy because she has to use her brain in a different way than she has before. So I always use the example, it's like when I have to sit down and reconcile my checkbook. I'm exhausted at the end of that, all that stuff that you have to do, right? So that's my brain toy. And for her, it can help to slow down that feeding. So on days that you don't want to, or you just don't want to do a brain toy, there are two other options. You can get a bowl that's large enough, and some people put a large rock in it. So not big enough that she's going to put it in her mouth, but she'll have to move it around. And they also sell bowls, specially made bowls now, that are plastic, that have plastic pieces that are, it's not just an empty bowl. Have you seen those with things sticking up? Yep. Have you tried any of those?
We haven't, no.
So I would try something like that.
Yeah.
There's no way that she can get big mouthfuls. She's gonna have to she's gonna have to look at the food and get it out very slowly. Now we're playing tug. See if I dig at your bag. Will the chicken come out? She would be perfect for brain toys because she's already trying to investigate how to get this open so that she could get the chicken stuff that's in there. Hi, honey. I know. I know. And there are others that are...
She's been so into ears.
Isn't that funny? You'd think that they would be smelling mouths. I just want to see if I have one. That are fairly easy to do. So...
Dwayne. He just went under
So this could be a fairly decent size for her, but you're going to need
I think it's the size that
several.
we have.
Yeah.
If you wanted to feed her whole meal, like how much food is she eating?
Yeah.
She eats
She
4
eats-
cups?
She eats 3 times a day. We have, I mean,
It's
it's
like
around 6 cups.
3 cups of kibble total, and we do like a raw diet with it too.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do meat and peas now.
Well, there's nothing even in that one, but she can take a look at that one. I have other ones that are smaller.
Oh.
Dwayne.
Oh, no, that's the hot dogs right there.
Hey, no. Sky.
She's like, the good stuff is in there.
Dwayne.
All right, out you go. Okay. All right, so that's the easy thing to talk about is how to feed her, how to slow down her feeding. Is great. And
Okay.
you do the 3 times a day just so that their meals are smaller and spread out more? Okay, great. All right, so that's what you can't eat that wood piece off my bag. I mean, you could, but please don't. So she would be fantastic with brain toys, and I wouldn't have any, you can also freeze them. And if you look at my website, there is a Doggy Dilemma episode where it's all about brain toys.
Yeah, I did see
Okay,
that.
good.
Yeah.
So once you got really proficient at it, you could freeze them, or you could freeze half of it and then put fresh stuff in initially, so that she can have that sort of instant gratification and work to get the other stuff out. So that will take her some time to eat. And I don't know if there are larger ones. That's a pretty big one, but there might be.
Yeah, I think there's one step
one
up.
size larger. Okay. All right. So has Dwayne had any other experience with children besides these two things?
He was actually, like, when we got him, my friend had a kid, and she was over all the time. Once she started crawling, he was more, like, interested in it, and he was probably, I don't know.
He was young, 4 months.
No, he's like 6 months.
Yeah.
And after the crawling, he would just, like, follow her around, and then after that, there wasn't as much. After he was, like, you know, a little too interested in her walking around.
Right.
But, and then
There's nothing in that one.
it was
either.
really when, I mean, my neighbors have 2 kids, and they're around the same age as my nephew, and they would come over and sit in the pen with them, and the dogs would be all over them and have no problem. It was just, I don't know, I mean, he's not neutered, so I don't know if it was something that changed with it, but
Well-
it's not, like,
Is he going to be neutered, or is he going to stay intact?
No, he will be.
yeah, he will be, and sometime we were thinking, we're still deciding if we're going to breed them, depending on how the behavior with children goes.
Okay.
Mainly.
So neutering, you know, neutering makes a male a little more aroused, and I don't mean sexually. I mean like say he's barking at something, bark, bark, bark. A typical dog might bark, 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 bark. Oh, okay, whatever, and then they're stopped. And depending on the male, the testosterone can keep that level of barking a little more intense, a little bit longer before it drops off. It doesn't make them more or less aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, and if they're intact and they're not being bred often enough, then you could have some obvious frustration. But you know, besides from that, I don't see that it's an issue necessarily with the kids.
Yeah.
Unless you were saying that he seemed to get like hyped up around them and then couldn't calm himself back down. That might potentially. I know the better stuff
is in
isn't there.
It doesn't. I mean, what he's doing obviously isn't like a great thing to do, but it doesn't seem necessarily aggressive, and we don't really know.
Right. It's a lot of it is his size. That.
Yeah. If another dog did it, you'd be like, hey, stop that.
Right.
Yeah.
You are food motivated. I didn't put any chicken or hot dogs in there.
Sky,
Oh, do you want me to do the kind of?
Sky,
What do you think? That's all right.
come on, pretty girl.
So, small children often look like wounded prey to dogs, especially if they're running, because they don't just run; they run and scream and flap their arms.
Yeah.
And that can initiate a sort of prey response from any dog. When my lab was he's 13, so 13 years ago when all my kids were home, you know, he was tethered to me or crated or tied to the table if the kids were home and they were running around, because I never wanted him to learn how much fun it was to chase them when they were like, screaming and yelling. So there's that aspect. The falling, you know, making a big noise, he might have yelled or said something or whatever, startled the dog, so he runs over to see what's happening. And it sounds like did a behavior that you've seen with Sky when, to tell him it's too much. And there's no other way for a dog to communicate besides how dogs communicate with other dogs.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we're not going to make Dwayne love children. And due to his size, even if he was gooberlicious with all children, you'd have to manage that because he's just so big. His tail will, wipe out a 6-year-old or whatever. So I would go down the line of you will always have some management with him.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
And you guys seem to be on top of that, as well as you will have, I would up the training so that, and that's going to take time and that's going to take practice. There's no quick fixes, so that when the children come here or when you're going to be someplace, you can ask him to lie down and you can tell him to stay and you know that he will. Now that's not going to prevent the child from entering his space. You still have to manage that dynamic.
Right.
Or I would also teach him a really good leave it. Hi, baby. I know. Oh, no. Are you done with my ears? It's just like, I think big dogs like focus on your face because it's right here.
Yeah.
You know, where smaller dogs would be all over the shoes and the pants. And you just want the chicken and hot dogs. I know. So that a good leave it command, a good come when called. I mean, you know, like 95% of the time when you ask the dog to leave it, yep, he'll come right off the thing. When you say come or here or now, whatever your word's going to be, he will do that for you as well.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I was wondering whether he was going to put, you know, my hand in his mouth. Was the little girl patting him, or?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, I think she was starting to pet him and stuff.
Yep.
And then he might have just been worked up because he was behind the gate and
And
there's people coming in.
She's
and stuff,
another
and-
high energy.
Yeah, yeah.
So was she was she just standing still, or was she sort of flipping around? And
She was kind of like running from the kitchen back and forth, and then she just like kept trying to pet him, and
Yeah.
I think that might have got him just worked up.
Okay. So I think it would be different if she were just standing still and he came up and put her hand in his mouth.
Yeah.
But if she's running around and kind of getting him all worked up, and you know, again, he may. Have you ever seen him do something similar to her? Like, does he grab her by the neck or by the leg?
Yeah.
If they're playing.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yep.
It's just that it's not. Yeah, he wasn't growling or anything when he did it. It was just like.
Playing that one, yeah, with her it was weird because it was just it was slow and it wasn't like aggressive or anything.
He just
He was
seems like
playing,
it seems like an instinct that he knows he shouldn't be doing, so he does it really like slowly.
Well,
like waiting for someone to stop.
well,
him.
the slowness is him being very deliberate about what he's doing. It's not. He doesn't know what he should or shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
He's just going to do what works for him. So everything in a dog's life is about what's going to work. They're really looking out for their own best interest.
Mm-hmm.
And if his own best interest is to, you know, jump on your counters and eat food off the counters, then that's what he's going to do, right? And the more food he gets off the counters, the more he's going to spend time doing that behavior.
Right.
So training is about, we take training seriously because for us, and like for this example, we're trying to solve a problem that involves children.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's some worry, there's some fear from our perspective. From the dog's perspective, training is a game. And we can either make it worthwhile for them so that they'll play the game, so that they'll stay in a downstay, or they're not going to do it. They're not going to play the game. So, Sky, I would love to work with you because you are so food motivated.
She is.
And you're really warm. I like those little short-haired dogs who emanate some heat. So let's do some training and see what. Now, does Sky have any behaviors? I mean, does she sit when you ask her, or does she lie down?
Most of the time, yeah. If you give her treats a lot of the time, she gets. I'm having a hard time actually training her with treats because she's so food motivated. She'll forget like what you asked her to do, or like if you tell her paw, she'll just like keep throwing them at you because she knows.
Okay.
If you do that.
All right. So and have you seen any behavior that worries you with her with children besides her exuberance?
Just how excited she is with them.
Okay.
That it's again, we just need to watch them all the time.
Okay.
She's really gentle though
She is.
we have never had any problems with her like biting or nipping or anything.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Oh, besides
no, you can't get on my
besides
Yeah,
the cat,
she
actually.
does jump on the couch though.
Yeah.
Not right now. I know. I know. Okay. So let's put Skylar back in the room. Hi, honey.
Don't
Thank
give
you.
her that Kong.
Yeah.
thing.
Where is it?
It's on the
There's
kitchen
two on the
table.
floor.
Oh, we
Which one
filled
is-
one up for her.
Oh, good.
Come on, Sky. Come on. No,
Oh,
go to bed.
Dwayne.
Sky, go to bed.
Good boy.
Poor Dwayne.
I know.
Okay, so let's just So let's just have you stand at that end
All
and
right.
go ahead and ask him for all of the things that.
All right. Dwayne. Dwayne. No, not lean on me. Dwayne. Sit. Sit.
Good.
Good boy. Stay.
And give him one.
Dwayne.
Just give him one for sitting.
Good boy.
Okay, and ask him for a lay down.
No, Dwayne. Sit. Down. Down. No, all the way. Down. Dwayne. Good boy. Good boy.
Good. And anything else?
Yeah, he can do paw once we just
Yep.
attacking over. Dwayne. Dwayne. Sit. Sit. Paw. No,
Oh.
Dwayne, sit.
Yeah,
Paw.
from Sky.
Thank you. Good boy.
Good.
boy.
Okay. And how is the coming called?
It's usually good. We used to have him, we were practicing it a lot more when we let him outside without a leash.
Yep.
But started getting freaked out because we saw a dog was hit right down the road. So
Yep.
now
Yep.
he's on a leash. And I mean, if he's around the house, he'll come when we call him.
Sure. Okay. All right. So let's clean this up a little bit. So I want to talk to you about criteria.
Yep.
So he's going to do what works for him. So if in the process of lying down, pawing at you twice or 4 times, and then he finally lays down and he swiped your leg, still gets him the reinforcement, then what we have said to him is repeat all of that.
Okay.
So let's clean, and you said he's been developing some bad habits with
Yeah.
Skyler. So you've got some competition,
Yeah.
right? So you go to hand a treat, both, or coming at it, or if he thinks, not if he thinks, if he's been successful mugging you for food, like hitting your hand, or, and then food falls, or you give him one, or sometimes, you know, I work with a lot of people that just, oh, isn't that cute? So they'll give him one. But they're working on some major behavioral issue that they're having. So that you've just given the dog permission to do that again. So remember, he is hardwired to expend the least amount of energy for the biggest bang for his buck. That's every animal in the world has that hardwiring, right? So we want to use that to our advantage, and you're going to use the quality of treat and the quantity of treats to communicate to him what's to his advantage by what is the behavior that you like the most, the best. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to work with him a little bit.
Sure.
Can I give him chicken or hot dogs?
Sure. I know. Could we also briefly talk
Sure.
about when people come to the house?
Yep.
All right. Because they get very in your face.
Let's do this first, and then
Yeah.
we'll.
Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't going to get him anything, so I'm just going to wait. I'm purposely going to hold on to the treats.
Every time we move your hand.
1, 2. I have too many in my hand.
He used to be amazing at that too.
At what?
Just waiting for his treats, and
Yep.
then it's when we got Sky that they started.
So we'll just wait. So what I'm doing is I'm using extinction, and I am communicating to him very clearly that this won't get him anything. But he has to sort of ask the question, will this get me something? Sit. 1, 2, 3. Good boy. Sit. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just adding 3 seconds of duration
Okay.
because he was kind of sitting down and getting back up. Good boy. Okay. Now, has he ever laid down from a stand, or does he always do it from a sit?
I think we've done. I usually do it from a sit, but I think we've done it before.
Yeah, I think
And
Yeah.
show me
You should be able
again
to.
your down signal. I didn't catch it.
I just go like that. I
Okay.
just point down.
Down? All right, so when he starts to offer that paw business, I'm purposely going to take a step away from
Okay.
him. Down. Down. Good. And I'm going to give him, there was 3. Oop. So he pawed twice, the third time he did not, because it didn't get him anything.
Okay.
Down. 1, 2, good boy. Now he has to learn to stay down there.
Yeah, that's one
Down.
he's never liked.
Nope. Got a little lipstick on his. Down. Nope. So I'm just looking for a clean behavior, and he'll get this very quickly as long as we're consistent with the criteria. And my criteria is lay down. Don't paw at me. Don't get up. Don't do anything else.
Okay.
Down. That was nice. And he has to do it within 3 seconds, which he's doing, but he can't wait for the food right now. Down. So he's not going to get anything if he gets up. But if he stays down there, good boy. Oh.
You lost it.
Down. 1. Good boy. And he's riveted on, you know, the treat hands. Good boy. Okay. Good boy.
Good.
Right,
Drool starting.
We'll do one more. So, down. Nice. And that was just on the verbal. I didn't. Good. See how fast that works?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that was, you know, maybe 4 or 5 downs. I lost count.
Yeah.
Good boy. Okay. So I'm using hot dogs. I'm going to give you some, and I want you to do the same thing. What I want, so my goals for him would be to teach him a 30-minute down. Then when you ask him to go lie down, he's basically going to stay there until you tell him to get up. But the initial goal will be 30 minutes. So now he's offering, right? So now he's going back to the behavior that got him the biggest bang for his buck.
Yeah.
And he self-corrected because he did this, but he's not doing it quite as much. Then he's going to go back and sit down. So use some of yours and take some of these hot dogs. So if he paws at you, does anything, I want you to work on the down. You're just going to take a step away from him.
Okay, so you want down instead of, all right, Dwayne, down.
No, walk
Dwayne,
away. Walk away.
down.
Don't ask him again. So your criteria, Liz, is you're going to ask him one time,
Yeah, okay.
and if he does, and he's going to do this other stuff with you because it's worked for him in the past.
Okay.
Okay? So just bring him back in here on the carpet a little bit more. Come on.
Is it okay to do it this way?
Yeah.
All right. Dwayne, down, down.
No, you asked him twice. Walk away.
This is training me.
Yeah, it is training you, right.
Down.
No, no. He has to wait.
Down.
No.
No. All right.
Because, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
reality is you're going to get your legs torn to crap in the
Yeah.
summertime when those nails and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just walk past him and come back over here so he'll get up in the process.
Down.
Good. He's getting closer.
Down.
Good.
So, yeah.
Keep his elbows down. Oh. So don't let him come up for the food.
Okay.
He's going to have to just learn to wait until you get down there with the food for him. So
Okay.
ask him again.
Down.
No.
I know I have treats in there. Down.
No.
Down. Dwayne. Down.
Good boy. Yeah, keep his elbows down. There, give him another one. He put his elbows back down. Nope, just pull it away.
So she
So-
keeps the food in one hand and give.
You
give
can,
with
yeah,
the other,
however,
or-
your job is going to be to get right down into his mouth until he has the impulse control. Right now he's getting up to meet you halfway.
Okay.
That's not his job. He needs to wait with his elbows down in that position for you to give them
Okay.
to him.
Down.
Nice. That was all right.
That was
That's
good?
all right. Yep. Because he didn't paw at you, he started to go down.
Okay. Down.
1, 2, yes.
Good
And
boy.
give him another one. Oh, keep it lower
Oh.
so his elbows stay down. There, good. And
These are
another one.
big ones.
Good. And then just end it with that. Good. And we'll do another one.
Good
Boy. Right. Hang on. Pick the bag up, although it's still not. I'm going to give you some more hot dogs. Sorry, they're a little slimy.
That's fine. He doesn't mind.
No. All right. So go ahead, ask him again.
Dwayne. Down.
No.
Down.
1. Good. And another one. That's right. You can just, yep. Yep. Good.
Oh, I dropped that one on you, Bean. That's my fault. Good.
Good. Yep. And then walk over here and we'll do one more. So eventually, yes, very nice. Wait, okay, good.
Good boy.
And stand back up. Yep, and then give him one.
Oh, his elbows came up that time.
Good, and stand back up. Good, and now give him one.
Oh.
Nope, so just stop. Good. So what happens is exactly what you're doing. We sort of get like, oh my God. So we get in all these weird postures so that we can get the food faster, which is all right to start with, but I want you to be very conscious that his job is to stay there, and you can stand up like a normal person and just bend down and give the treats. Okay. So Keaton, let's have you try one.
Here's one piece of hot dog.
And I can give you some more.
We can grab those other treats too.
Do you like?
We can grab the chicken that we have.
Dwayne.
Not for you.
Thank you. Down.
Yep.
Good boy.
Good.
I'm definitely the one they get away with more stuff from.
Down. Good boy. So I just keep repeating down.
Yeah, so make him lie down, and this time
Down.
just count to 2. 1, up,
Down.
1.
Good boy.
All right, so get 3 ready, so you can give him 3 in rapid succession so he'll know, because we're going to end
Down.
up chaining sit down, and another one.
Good boy. No.
Well, so just switch and come over here just so he has a different. And so I'd like you to try to get 3 in real quick
all right.
before he
Down.
gets up.
Good
1,
boy.
2, do you have another one? Yep. Now see if you can grab another one from your other hand. Yep, quickly. Any more? Very nice. Good, and tell him.
Okay.
Good, and let's do
Good
one more
boy.
like that over there. So it's interesting, Liz, seems like there's always one
Down.
person in a household that,
No.
good,
Good boy.
good. Keep his elbows down, yep.
Oh. Good boy.
And-
okay.
Good, very
Good
nice.
boy.
So he has some good foundation behaviors that you guys should just be capitalizing on and working. And I would make this go into a 30-minute downstay. It could be, you could target a mat if you wanted to, a dog bed. In our house, the 2 younger dogs, which are the bigger dogs, they're excommunicated from the kitchen when food's around. So we just say, go, lie down, and they find beds, and they're there until we tell them. But they don't keep coming back in the kitchen. So that's one use of it.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
So just know that if you're the one that you allow them to get away with stuff, like they don't make you do whatever it is you're doing, and you're only going to be working against yourself.
Yeah.
So free food or food for almost things. And you could tell it took longer with you because his history with you. Like he showed me all the things you've ever reinforced him for. Because all the pawing or the half things he did or whatever it was he was doing are all things that have worked for him. So every time you put a piece of food in his mouth, just because you've said to him, repeat that again. So if you don't want to see that behavior again, just don't do it.
I just need to give them
reward it.
treats apart from each other. I guess I just get overwhelmed when they're both, like when I get them both to sit or something.
Yep, we can work on that in a minute.
They get away with a lot more. Then I think that's what's,
Right.
because he used to be awesome.
So you have to be very
Well,
clear
I
about
used
your
to be awesome.
criteria for each dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 2 labs that are at board and train right now, and when I ask them to sit, if one sits and the other doesn't, I'm just very careful that he gets a treat and she misses out until I get them to do it the same. But he doesn't miss out because she screwed up. And it makes a little more of impact to her when she sees that, oh, food was around, but I didn't get any. All right, so I want to start a leave it with him.
Okay.
And the way I teach leave it, we'll do it the long way. First, I'm going to hold treats in my hand. I can actually just sit on your couch, and I'm just going to separate my hands. And we'll see what he's going to do. If he's going to lick them or mouth them or paw at my hands. And basically, I'm looking for him to do nothing. And when he does nothing and he stops trying to get the food on my hands, I'll reinforce him with a piece of food. Then it's a process of I'll get on the ground and I'll lower my hands to the floor. So first it's the scent, then it's the visual, then I'll open my hand, then the treat goes on the floor, and then we start dropping food. Are you at all familiar with body blocking? Did you learn that in any of your classes?
Is it just turning around?
No.
That's where we get the
Walking into him.
I think we might have touched
We'll
on
do
it,
it
but
when
not too much.
Okay.
He likes when you come over.
So we'll use these little tiny treats. So I just let him sniff them. Yes, good boy. So he actually took a step back. Yes, good boy. So it doesn't matter which hand. Oh, good. So that hand will not produce anything now because he's pasturing it, but the other hand can once he stops. He's not as drooly as I thought he was going to be.
No, Sky's the drooler.
Yes. All right, so can you see I'm treating him from the hand that he's either not staring at or not pestering when he stops. So doing nothing is what gets reinforced. That's very hard sometimes for... So he was staring at the left, so the right treated him. Did you get it?
Yeah, I found a little extra on there. Oh, you scared him.
Oh. Oops.
Yep. Well, we'll do this one. Sorry. Good boy. Okay, so now.
He's like, what's going on?
He hasn't figured out the game yet.
Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Very typical. The dog says, oh, it's the other hand that gets me stuff. Yes.
This guy's all done.
Yes, good boy. So I'm going to go through these steps pretty quick, and then I'll have you give it a shot.
Okay.
So again, this is just the scent. Yes. And yes, good boy. And you may find that when you sort of assume the scarecrow position, good boy, that he does nothing, that's exactly when you want to reinforce him. So he's still going a little bit back and forth hand to hand, but I'll show you how to move this on. Good boy. So now I'm going to put just one treat, and I like to use a treat with a little bit of contrast in my hand, flat on the floor. Ooh, and my job is just to close it. Oh, God, it's flying around. So I'm not going to move my hand. Yes, good boy. Look, fell out of your mouth right there. You see it? Where'd it go?
Cover it up.
Oh, there it is. So I'm not going to drag my hand around like this. It stays put. He has to, yes, good boy. He has to learn to back away from it. Yes. Yes. Good boy. Thank you. Just smear up the glasses. I'll switch hands. Yes. Yes, good boy. So, very nice. So, and this is also part of impulse control, where what he's learning is just because he can see it or smell it doesn't mean he can just take it upon himself to grab it. All right.
Should we shut Skylar's door?
No, she's all right. So now...
Yeah. You want me to give her a little more peanut butter? Or?
No, she's all right. We'll take her out in a minute. All right. It's kind of flaky. So now we'll do some chicken. And this, I put the one hand behind my back, and this piece is going to go on the floor, and then I'm going to cover it as I need it to. Yes, good boy. And now I can start to add the word. Leave it, good boy. So he looked and looked away. That's exactly what I want to see him, yes, is to acknowledge that it's there. Leave it, good boy, and not go for it. Leave it. Yes. Why don't you get that piece? Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Right, so I'm making it worth his while to play this game. When you start, get that little piece. When you start to stand up, I'm going to drop the treat slightly behind me. I don't want to put it here, right? Set myself up for success. So I'm going to drop it here. And if he moves towards it, I'm going to physically body block him by stepping directly in his path and moving him backwards.
All right.
Not just side to side, but physically moving him back. Excuse you. Leave it. Good boy. So he didn't get up for it. Very nice. Leave it. Good boy. So I'm actually waiting. He's not looking directly at my face, which is all right, but he's looking at me. Leave it. Good boy. All right, so let's have you guys give that a shot. Down. Good boy. Okay. Who wants to go first? How about Liz?
Yeah, I guess I will. Let's get the trouble out of the way.
So let me do, I think, whoops, this is so flaky.
Do you want us to grab one of our, I can cut up those other treats.
Sure.
Right there.
Let me do some of those. So let's just start with the, while he does that, we'll start with the.
What one are we doing?
So I want you to just sit on the couch with your hands apart.
So from the beginning?
Yep. So he learns that history with you. Good. Wait. So we're going to wait until he stops pacing. If you have to, you can rotate your hand a little. So now, treat him. Quick.
Dwayne.
Good. So we'll sit now, the other hand.
Dwayne.
Good.
Oh.
Initially, we don't care why he stops. It doesn't matter that he's, wondering what Keaton's doing. Good. Yep.
Is that when he goes to the ground? Is that?
You could have. Yep. It's all right.
Okay. Dwayne.
Good.
Good boy.
Yes.
Dwayne.
Good.
Good boy. Dwayne.
Yep.
Good boy. Turn those out from this side. Dwayne.
Good.
Good boy.
Now to lower your hands so that they're lower on the floor. Yep.
Good boy.
Can you actually kneel so that you can put them on the floor?
Sure. Oh, sorry, Dwayne. Actually, we're gonna have to get some in the other hand. Good boy.
Good. Yes.
Oh, this one.
Yep.
Sorry,
good for
Dwayne.
you. That's right.
Good boy.
I'll lay right on the Kongs.
Good boy.
It's going.
Good boy.
Nice. Good. So let's do one in the flat. Do you have more in your hand?
I have two.
Okay.
And a lot
You
of
got some
drool.
chicken? All right. So let's get the. So
Got
now
one
just
of them? I have
one.
it.
One in the flat of your hand. So you're going to stay on the floor.
I need this.
And just get ready to close it as needed.
Okay.
And the other hand can go behind your back.
Whoa. No. No.
Yep. So keep it flat. Yep.
He's getting mad.
That's right. So just wait till he comes back.
Oh, no.
So food from you is usually easier.
Yes.
Yep,
Yes,
that's
yes, yes.
clear. So go ahead, open your hand. Treat him. As he looked
Good
and looked
boy.
away. Yes. So
Good
now
boy.
start to say leave it. Let him look
Oh.
at the treat in your hand. And then say leave it and treat
Leave
it from
it?
the other hand. Yep.
Good
And then
boy.
put the other hand behind your back so he doesn't. Yes. Good. Go ahead and say leave it and treat him.
Leave it. Good boy.
Good. All right. Did you have? Was that
Yep.
chicken or what was that?
Oh, these are
That's-
just to cut up the treats that we have.
Oh, that's all right. So let's use those.
Alright.
Put one of those in your hand. Oops, it's right by your. There it is. So we can see it just a little more clearly. The
other side,
contrast.
or-
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we got this. Yes,
Leave
good.
it. Good
treat him.
boy. Oh, sorry, Dwayne. Oh, behind my back.
Now set it on the floor, and you're going to get ready to put your hand over it. Leave
Good
it.
boy.
Good. Go
Oh,
ahead. Just add the command.
I'd leave it.
And pick it up and put it down again. Yep, and put it down. Tell him leave it.
Leave it.
Wait till him look. Yes.
Good
treat him.
boy. Do it again.
Yep.
Leave it. No.
Good. Treat
Good
him.
boy.
Good. Okay, pick that up, and we're going to do a standing one. So let me just take those. I think they're kind of little. And I'm going to give you some. And take some of the chicken. So find a kind of a good solid piece that you can put on the floor.
All right.
It's got such a pretty sit.
He does. So behind me? Oh.
Yes, and you're going to have to get ready to fly into
I'm definitely going to have to.
So you leave it as you drop it behind you.
Leave it. Dwayne.
Towards him. No, just walk towards him. Towards him. Walk towards him. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now treat him with the other hand. Up.
Wait.
No, walk towards him. Yes, now treat him.
Good boy.
Good. It's right behind you, so carefully pick it up. Be sure you tell him leave it if you have to. Good. And drop it again.
Leave it. Good
Yes.
boy.
Good. Give him another piece for that.
Good boy.
Good.
All right.
And drop it one more time.
Leave it.
Yes.
Good boy.
Good.
All right.
Good. Nice. All right, Keaton, let's have you do a couple just where you drop them.
Just standing?
Yep.
Oh, I'll trade you.
Hi. I know. Is that fun?
Sorry.
It's like a big dog to get around. So you're going to drop it and then body block him as needed.
Leave it.
Good.
Good boy.
And it's right by your
Good
left
boy.
or your right foot, so as you pick it up, be careful. Yep. And go ahead and drop it again.
Leave it.
Good.
Boy. Picks up on it fast.
Yes.
Try again.
Yep, one more.
Leave it. Good boy. No.
Good. Yep, just good. So it's not about sitting, it's just about, he's
Oh,
just
yeah.
choosing to sit. It's just
Yeah.
about not going for that thing.
Right. Yeah.
Good.
I
Go
just don't
ahead.
like them going right for your.
Yes, good.
Right for
Yep,
me.
that was a good catch.
No.
Good. Okay, Liz, come on back.
Boy.
So we can't really do come uncalled,
Yeah.
and we can do that another time, but I would make this down turn into a 30-minute down stay.
Okay.
And you're going to do that by, he lies down, and it's a treat a second for maybe 5 seconds, and then tell him all done. Then ask him for another down, and you'll treat him maybe for 10 seconds, and you're just going to start to count. 1, so he gets a treat, and count 1, 2. He gets a treat, 1, 2. You literally increase by seconds until you can get 10 seconds and he gets maybe 2 treats, but he's waited the 10 seconds. It's about duration. And then you'll get to 20 seconds and maybe he's had 2 treats at 10 and you've given him 3 treats at the 20 seconds, right? So the larger the behavior unit, the more reinforcement he needs.
Okay.
Okay? So this is all teaching, and some people are testers. I don't know you well enough to know, but they'll see how long the dog can wait before he gets a treat. You're not teaching him anything at that point. You're teaching him it's not worth your while to play my game because I'm not going to be generous with my reinforcements. Okay. Yes, at some point we'll need to get rid of the food, but right now every correct response of a down you should reinforce.
Okay.
And a correct response is you ask one time and he complies within 30 seconds with no paw, no bumping your hand, nothing else. He just lays down within 3 seconds. And 3 seconds is plenty enough time for a big dog like this to get his body down.
Yeah.
Okay? If as you reach for the treat, he gets up, nope, just, your job will be to try to get the food down there faster, but his job is to wait until you get the food there. Okay? So you can walk around the house, you can ask him as many times as you want. You won't be reinforcing everyone unless everyone meets that criteria.
Okay.
Okay? And your biggest, I think, obstacle is going to be don't ask him twice.
Yeah.
Like, don't repeat it. If he paws at you, you're just going to walk away, and that's going to communicate so much more to him than repeating and paw and swiping. And it'd be nice for the kids to be able to come in and ask him to lay down, and boom, he'll lay down, and not be worried that he's going to wipe him out in the process.
I was reading online it said if your dogs are kind of weird with kids, to have them give the dog treats.
I would have him work for them. I wouldn't just do free.
Yeah.
You don't want, the child's here, he's the treat dispenser.
Yeah.
I can just follow him around and hit his hand and food will come out. He should be working for all that stuff.
Okay, but that's a good idea to try.
Yeah, and I would do it with one of you standing with the child because he may not listen or understand the child's signals as clearly as he does yours because it's a different person.
Yeah.
Dogs don't generalize all that quickly. The leave it, I would start just like what we did here.
Yeah.
Then I usually move it into the kitchen and I purposely push things off the counter. Leave it one dog at a time. Somebody's going to have to be whining while you work with the other one because they're not ready to be both worked with at the same time.
Okay.
So then I just start to try to use it in real life by pushing things off the counter. Does he eat things that he's not supposed to? Some dogs like go for pens or shoes.
That's her mostly. I think, if he's left alone, it's like, it's anything, but he also freaks out when I leave the house a lot, so I don't know if
that
that's
would be a good place for leave it. Leave it is anytime he's looking at something that you don't want him to have. People, dogs,
I guess
food.
stuffed animals.
Yes, leave it. Right, leave it. It's rarely said leave it. You know, when I excuse me, when I need to say it, again, these two boarding dogs are a little too interested in our Christmas tree, so it's like leave it. And they head snap back to us because that's what we're teaching him is to look at you.
Yeah.
Then, even if you don't have anything on your person, just run to your refrigerator and say, what do I have? What do I have? Get out some cheese, get out some chicken. Good boy, good boy. It has to be worth his while to leave whatever we've just asked him to. Okay. So let's get Sky out because you wanted to work with both of them.
If he does anything inappropriate, like to kids again, what should our response be to him?
Well, hopefully he won't. You're going to manage him, and you're going to have these better behaviors on him so that it's just going to be, as he's moving towards the child, you should be able to say, leave it, and he should come off. Okay. Let's ask them both to do. Okay. So just ask for a sit.
Sit. Good girl. Good boy.
Good. And she has,
Good girl.
Good. And does she have a down?
Yeah. Not a very good one, but she has one. Ready? Sit. Down. No.
So he gets his, but make his elbows. Yep.
Sky. Down.
So let's just don't do any more. So you're going to have to work with them separately to get her to the point where he is because he did beautifully.
He's doing a lot better
he did beautifully for that. Right.
He did.
And your biggest issue with her is just going to make her wait. Like, obviously you won't have treats in your sweater pocket after this, but you're going to need to extinguish all of that stuff so that she learns, just like he learned initially from me, that mouthing my hand and whatever else he was doing was not going to get him anything. Okay, so let's just recap what you're going to do for the behavior with children. So my suggestion to you guys is that there are no more incidences because you're carefully managing him around kids. That might be that he's leashed. That might be that he's back here before you let them out. You're going to work on that leave it to get it 99%. So when you say leave it, he head snaps back to you. And then if he's even walking towards a child, you can say leave it. Oh yeah, great. It's much more worthwhile to come over here. Once he's got those sits, he's got a nice sitting down, you could work on a couple of fun tricks with him, then those could be things that the kids, when they're quiet, could ask him to do. But given the fact that they're young children, they've got high energy, they're erratic in their behavior, and it's not something that they're exposed to every day, my preference would be you just put them away with brain toys.
Yeah.
There's no need to test.
Great, just their sizes. If they just walk into them.
Right. There's no need to test that situation at all.
Yeah.
It's just because the dog is always at the losing end of that proposition. So I would just keep him safe, keep the kids safe. In the springtime, you can start to walk him around school so he sees them, but he doesn't have close contact with them. And there's a few other things that we can do at that point in time. But for now, I think shore up those behaviors and manage them so that there's just no more incidences. You are very funny.
Use that while we're making their food too.
Yeah.
To feed them, just because we try to keep them out of the kitchen while we're feeding them or while we're getting the food ready.
Body block them right out of the kitchen.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I'm Denise Mazzola. I look forward to seeing you next week.
If you have a doggy dilemma, Denise can help. Visit www.denisemazzola.com for more information. Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer tested through the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. The association requires recertification every 3 years with a minimum of 30 hours of continuing education. She has been training dogs and working with families for over 20 years.